everything on this table is probably 100 years old, and when you think of it, they're made of virtually tin or steel and glass. It's surprising that it lasted 100 years. This lantern right here is one of the oldest. It's from the Civil War era. Came in about 1958. This one right here that looks like got some handles on it, and it looks just like a regular hand lantern. But this went on a ship's compass, and they stopped making these in 1906, and at nighttime you couldn't see the compass, so they had one or two of these on the side. They had slots, and they filled in the slots, and what happened is they would light up the compass at nighttime. There's two over here that are kind of interesting. These were from World War I. They're on board ship, and this is called a deck lantern, and they got the tie downs, and this is made of brass. This one is a sister lantern to it, and what's interesting about this one right here is, they had blackouts aboard ship, and this lantern, what happened is you could black it out just by moving this. Now the lantern is still going, so when you wanted to get the light back, it just slid back down. So
why would they need to black out?
Well, enemy ships,
Oh, yes.
Probably all these lanterns are rare to some degree in one form or another. This was the first cold blast lantern that came out by Dietz, and so this is an old lantern. It's a ladies' lantern that people used around the house, So this is rare. These were called skaters' lanterns. People went skating. They would take off the skates and keep the lantern by the skates so they could see where they're going. It was also used to go to the outhouse, just a little lantern just to keep yourself going. A dead flame is just this. A dead flame is the light just kind of flickers. It doesn't go anywhere. It's what you light it and it just goes there. The next innovation of lanterns was the hot blast, and with the hot blast, it's the flame the gas still came out the top, the cap, but some of it went down these tubes and fed into the flame. So this is a hot blast. It had some hot air return, and that kept the flame going. This burned kind of a yellowy color. Now, the next one that came up was the cold blast. There's baffles in this the canopy top, and it had more air going down in fueling it. With the cold blast, it had more of a white flame compared to a yellow flame. So and you could all adjust them by putting the wick up and down. Well, kerosene was the big one. With the Civil War, kerosene became very popular because before that they had a couple of different types, but whale oil was popular. But whale oil, it wasn't just enough; it was expensive. I go to eBay a lot because there's a couple of reasons. One, any given day on eBay, there's 1,000 to 1,200 lanterns that you could go through. So I usually spend a few times a week. I go through all those lanterns just to see if I see something interesting. And then on eBay you can put you can check mark it on a watch list, and then you put bids in. Sometimes my bid is successful, sometimes it's not. But also what's good about eBay, you can see what other people are paying for them, because book value, what's on this table, book value is over $2,000. But if nobody's willing to pay $2,000, then it's worth more to you because of your intrinsic value. But if you watch eBay, you can see what your lanterns go for. And everybody goes to flea markets and they say, I got that dish, I got this, I got that. And they're interested, they can see, well, that's worth that much, So everybody gets that good feeling that way. So, I don't really know, to be honest. I say I always had one or two around the house, and when you retire, older folks tend to go to a lot of flea markets, consignment stores, antique stores, just to something to do, during the day. And I would always walk away with a lantern. And my wife used to say, you don't need another lantern, do you? I think when I got to be about 100 of them, she no longer asked me, She allows me to have so many in the house. The rest of them I have to, put in a place I have at the house. I display them. But I don't know. I find enjoyment owning them. I'm in the process of cataloging them, because, when I leave this world, my kids are, I don't want to see them selling them at the yard sale for $1 a piece,
Right.
So,
Collector Time is made possible with generous donations by Central Mass Metal Detectors, rediscovering the past to preserve for the future. Find us on Facebook. And Tangway Jewelers, 19 Connor Street in Gardner, serving the area since 1976.